We have Fort Lauderdale Interim Police Chief Karen Dietrich joining us, and I'm sure the election has been on the mind of the Fort Lauderdale PD, making sure that everything goes smoothly. And Chief Dietrich, how are you?
I'm very well, Brian. How are you?
Yeah, likewise. Let's talk a little bit about the election. Any related concerns that you have, and any protocols are a little bit different as we head into early voting than Election Day itself?
Yeah, we don't see any real threats or concerns at this point, but we're definitely being proactive in our approach to make sure that we're ready in the event anything pops up. With all the mail-in ballots, we're being told that, the race may not be called until maybe a Friday or Saturday. So it's going to be a long week for us to figure out when, if anything's going to actually pop up. But we are definitely planning for the worst and hoping for the best. So we're ready in the event anything does happen.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that, how you're proactively working through the various different possibilities and what might ensue as a result. Is there are there certain individuals that you lean on and that you speak to at the state level, federal level, even, and trying to figure out what the appropriate response might be?
We do have federal partners that we've been working with, and trying to figure out what information is credible and what information is not. We have our own True unit that does some digging into things to figure out if we have any threats or concerns that we need to look into or get ahead of right now.
I'm curious, just from cycles gone by on Election Day, and it doesn't matter what cycle it is. I hear from listeners that alleged improprieties are taking place at this specific location. And many that I've looked into over the course of time have turned out not to be anything other than rumor or people being overtly sensitive. Do we really have much of a history in Fort Lauderdale or South Florida generally that you're aware of people that have been engaged in impropriety at the polls?
No, we haven't had any problems at all here. Like I said, we just plan for it just in the event, but no, we haven't had a whole lot. You have people that want to celebrate that their candidate won, and that's fine, but nothing that's ever gotten out of control in Fort Lauderdale.
All right, that's good. Now, Phase 3, how are things going at this point? School's getting back, and, are people behaving?
Yeah, people are behaving a lot better than they were before. We're actually, when I talked to Code, they told us that, we were going from 250 complaints per month on different code issues, and since Phase 3 started, we've only received about 60 complaints a month, so that's quite a drop.
Yeah, that is good news. Now, in terms of like curfew and what type of policy is still being enforced in the city of Fort Lauderdale?
Well, I'd say that the biggest problem that we're having right now is the midnight curfew with the bars. Some of the establishments, they were hurting, so they're trying to make money, and some of them are not abiding by that midnight curfew, and we're having to address those specific bars. But other than that, the restaurants seem to be really going along with the rules and the laws.
People have kind of settled out a little bit. We know that as soon as we hit Phase 3 and you had bars that could get back, we know that there were some that kind of got carried away, but for the most part, that's calmed down.
Yeah, for the most part, and people really are wearing masks. They don't want to take that chance. So yep. I was down on Las Olas the other day, and people were walking even outside. Everybody's got their mask on, so nobody wants to take that chance.
Here we are, a little more than 2 weeks away from Halloween as well. So, as taking a look at Halloween this year, your thoughts about how we should go about it and what you're planning on from a law enforcement standpoint.
Yeah, Halloween's going to happen regardless of COVID, and we're hoping that people take precautions, especially with everyone touching the wrappers of the candy. And, sometimes people like to let the kids pick the candy out of the bowl, and they've touched everything because they want to examine exactly the piece of candy they're going to get. Right. So I would say that parents really need to lay out that candy, spray it down with some Lysol both sides, let it dry. At least that way the outside of the wrapper is clean. Anything that's unsealed or open definitely needs to be thrown away. At the Fort Lauderdale Police Department and the Fire Department, we're going to do a conjunction trick-or-treat, like a trunk-or-treat, basically. It's a little more intimate, so they can feel safe getting the candy from the police and the fire. It'll give them a chance to interact with the officers and the firefighters. We're going to have different things, the horses, the motorcycles, SWAT trucks, different things like that, so they can come out and feel safe while they're trick-or-treating with the little guys.
Well, Chief Dietrich, we appreciate the time, and we're real close to dropping that interim tag. You know, I was trying to work on the mayor a little bit, and I think he's close. So maybe next time.
I hope you're right.
Do appreciate it. That is interim Fort Lauderdale Police Chief Karen Dietrich. And by the way, you may follow them on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter.